Hi everyone, it's Jez here from nigezza.co.uk and I'm here with the video for my project for InspireINK, which you might have done the blog hop for yesterday, and the theme was milestone birthdays. The theme was actually set by me because I had an 18th birthday card to make, and here it is. It's a exploding box card. It folds flat. You've probably seen these. It's not new. I didn't invent it, but I have made loads of these. I usually make them for really special occasions like weddings, or in this case 18th birthday. It's for a boy, so I was going for sort of masculine colours, and this is what I came up with. So if you stay tuned, I will show you how I did it. Okay, so to make this card, I'm using a piece of standard size cardstock. This is A4, but it worked just as well for 8.5 by 11 because we're going to trim this down after we do some scoring. So on the long side, we're going to score at 2.5. Just do that again with my fat end. 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10, and then we're going to turn it 90 degrees and we want to score at 4. Okay, so that's the scoring, and then we're going to trim this. And we're going to trim it down to 7 inches across here. You want to make sure that, well, it doesn't actually matter which way round it is. If you trim off at 7 inches, you are going to end up that that's 4 and then this bit's 3, which is what we want. Okay, now you might think, why don't I just trim it first? But we actually want the scoring on this bit, so we're going to use this bit for something else. So, and then with your shorter bit to this side, we're going to place this at 10.5. So then that gives us a 1/2 inch bit here that we're going to use to glue the box side. Okay, and then we'll just use that for a bit of decoration in a bit. Right, now these bits, so that scoring is the same width as the box. So we got, if you imagine you've got 2 bits there, and we're going to chop these. So we want these all to be the same size, and we want them to be half an inch. So if we go for this first one, if we place this score mark at the 1/2 inch mark there, and we chop that, then that bit's 1/2 inch. And if we place that score mark at 1/2 inch, and there we've got 2 1/2 inches, and we do the same thing here. This might feel cack-handed to you, but it's, oh, it was nearly a disaster then. It's kind of the way it works for my brain. And then we want to cut these down. So these measure even an inch. So we want to cut it at the 1/2 inch, which is quite difficult to do because there's nothing to hold it in place. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate because you're not going to see it. So just do the best you can. you can sometimes, if you do want it accurate, I'll just fasten it in with a bit of washi to hold it in place, and that works. So we should have 4 of these. Okay, so we'll be using those in a moment. So now we need to fold and burnish these sides. Before we do that, we'll do some trimming. So we're going to trim off where you've got the shortest scored bit. You're going to trim off that little rectangle there. So trim straight down and then just miter slightly there. Okay, and then we're going to trim down or cut down these other 3 score lines just straight down, which is why I'm doing it before I score, so that you haven't got that extra bit that you get when you score. There we go. And so now we can fold and burnish. So like you would if you were making a box, fold them all over. And then we're going to put some glue on here to create our box shape. So I'm going to get a little bit of Tombow. That should be enough because that will just ooze out. Okay, got a bit of squiff there. So just fold that over. And that should fasten there nicely. So that's going to be where the join is. That's going to be our back. So that we don't want to fold down. So where your back is, you're not going to fold down, but we are going to fold down these other 3 bits. Okay, so if you just want to give those bits a burnish. And so that is how our box is going to look. And so this will fit in. It's a 7 by 5. You can make it smaller so that it fits a normal A6, but I wanted it to be 7 by 5 because this is going to be an 18th birthday card, so I wanted it a little bit bigger. I've made the smaller ones before, and I wanted this to be a bit bigger, and I'm going to make an envelope to put it in. Okay, using my envelope punch board. So I have cut some panels. So for the back, that's where you're gonna write on. So I've just left that in Whisper White, and that measures 6 3/4 by 2 1/4. So I shall just glue that in place. This is the quick bit, and then the fun bit comes with decorating it. So with the InspireINK blog hop, we do it every month, and somebody gets to pick the theme, and it's picked at random. Anybody who we sort of pick a number, and then that's just picked using a sort of a random number generator. So my number was picked, and so I had a 30th birthday, a 40th birthday even, not 30th, and this 18th. So I thought, oh, milestone birthdays, that'd be grand. Okay. So to decorate the box, I'm using Tranquil Textures. I showed this in my unboxing, and I said that I thought the papers are just stunning. I love them, and very very good, I thought, for masculine cards, which is why I've bought them. Love the colour combinations in this, and I thought this one was lovely for this male 18th birthday card. So I've chosen, that's why I chose the Tranquil Tide as the base. Okay, so we want 3 panels that measure 3 3/4 by 2 1/4, and so they're just gonna go on. I'm gonna use Tombow because I want a little bit of wigglage. So there we go, that's that done. I'll probably do a bit on the back, but I haven't quite decided on that bit yet. So you can see when it folds up, whichever way you look at it, that's the way it is, and that's the way it's gonna sit. And I quite liked the top matching the bottom. Okay, so now before we go any further, we're going to bring back those little strips that we made, and so we're just gonna burnish those little folds, and these are gonna stick across there. You've probably seen videos of these pop-up ones before. And people do different things. I think they have different amounts that they put across, but this is what I've decided to do. Right, so put a little bit of Tombow on each one of these. So we've got a bit of wigglage, and you just stick one side and the other, and you can go slightly below the top edge, but butt the end up to the front of the card, so it looks like that. Okay, so you've stuck it in there, and you've stuck it in there. I hope you can see that. Okay, and then you stick the next one in the same way by butting the end up to the end of that one there. And then this gives you the props for sticking all your decoration to. And it's only ever so slightly fiddly, she says. So stuck that one in there and that one in there, and then you can push it like that, and it should hopefully then bounce in the right place. So there we've got 2 done. Can you see? And then we do the next. Exactly the same. It doesn't have to be hugely accurate, just so long as there is something going across that will enable you to stick some decoration on. Tombow is very forgiving because you have got a bit of wigglage with it. So there we've got 3, and then we're just going to do our last one. So it's 2.5 inches along there, and each one of these is 1/2 inch. So you're going to have a 1/2 inch gap at the end, so they're all evenly spread. Oops. I always find the last ones, because you've got less room to move, haven't you, with the last one. move. Move and get in. I am the boss. There we go. And then that one, just go over a tad. And there we are, ready now to decorate. Okay, so the stamp sets I'm going to use is, I've got Pick a Pennant, and so we've got 18 in that, so that is what I'm using this for. So they're going to be very small numbers, but I'm going to team them up with this circle here, and then I'll probably cut out some labels for the bottle. I'm also going to do have a birthday brew, and I'm going to use the beer bottles as well, because they're 18, you can drink, and I'm sure is on a beer or two. So I'm going to do the 18, the circles, and the have a birthday brew in Tranquil Tide. So I'm just going to stamp a few of those around. And then, because the numbers have got quite a large sort of edging around it, can you see, mounting the two of them together, it didn't look right. I tried it, it didn't look right. Now the other thing that makes a party is balloons, so I'm going to stamp some balloons. I'm going to stick to Tranquil Tide, so I'm using Balloon Celebrations, and I'm also going to use the Hooray as well. So I've mounted up some balloons, some big ones, and that Hooray size one as well. So we'll get So there's all the balloons cut out. So now we just need some strips for attaching it to our box card. So I've got a bit of an offcut here. This is about 5 3/4. So I'm going to cut it at, so it's 8 1/4 wide, so I'm going to cut strips every sort of 1/4 inch. So it's easy if you measure it at that side, every 1/4 inch, and then trying to measure 1/4 inch at this side. So you just want some little strips that you're going to use for sticking the bits on. So I decided what I was going to do at the back here. So I cut another piece of Whisper White that's the same size as the back there, that's 2 1/4 by 6 3/4, so that gives that a little bit of extra stability there. But I want to decorate it first. So I've taken the Happy Birthday from Happy Birthday Gorgeous and the bubbles from Bubble Over, and I'm going to put a bit of messy paper on the back there. I'm going to stamp the Happy Birthday in Tranquil Tide to stick with the theme. And I'm going to do some bubbles around it in mint macaron. There. So now. There. Yep, that's cool. Okay, so then we'll just stick that in place with my Tombow. Got a little bit of wigglage. There we go. So that's our back. So now we need to start building up the decoration. So we want to create some bottles and some bottle labels. So I've cut bottle lids. So if I just show you the two different styles that we're going to do, and then I'll go and complete the rest off camera. So I've cut some trunk cord tied in big labels, and that's for the big bottle. And then I've cut some smaller labels for the little bottle, and the circles with the 18 in it, which has just disappeared. We're going to cut them out. But I can't find them. Goodness me. I'll have to find those. They were there all along. So I've got my 3/4 inch punch, and I'm just going to cut these circles out. I use these circles in another project, and I cut them out with the inch punch, I think, and I said 3/4 would be better, and so now I've bought it. Right, so that's that, and then that's going to get stuck on the front there. So one of our bottles is going to, I don't like that 18, it's not very central. One of our bottles is going to have 18 on it, and one of them is going to have a birthday brew. So I shall put those together, ready for the decoration. So now we're going to get ready for starting to decorate. So I'm going to put a balloon on the back piece there. I'm going to stick it up with a dimensional. Missed me bin. And what you've got to be conscious of is if you want it to go in an envelope, then you can't really go, oh, I've gone a little bit up there, you can't really go outside that. So if you're sticking things on this, then it can go that way, and as things will go this way, once you go that way, you need to make sure it's within the boundaries. Okay, so I want an 18 beer bottle, so I'm going to stick a bottle on here. So I'll put a bit of glue all the way along there. Stick my 18 bottle on there. And if we have it like that, it's going to be in the right place, but it will be over the edge once it's open. So put a bit of glue on that there. so that that's going to get on there when it's closed, but when it's open it's going over the side a little bit, but that's okay. So that's my first one in place. And then let's have one of these balloons. And we'll glue that to the back. And we'll have this coming over there, because we don't have to worry too much about that side. So I'll stick a bit of glue under there where my finger is. So this is just a matter of you placing it on and deciding where they're all going to go and making sure that it's not over the footprint that you're going to, so that one's a bit too far, so I'll move it. Got a bit of wigglage with that glue there, so that keeps it in line and you'll be able to close it up. So I'm going to continue adding bottles and balloons to this card. Okay, so I have stuck all my balloons and beer bottles on, and they are almost within the right things. That one's slightly too high, but I'm sure when I make the envelope it'll be fine. So now I just need to decorate these flaps. Now we've completely obscured practically the happy birthday there at the back, so I want a happy birthday at the front. So I'm going to stamp the happy birthday again. And I think we'll do some bubbles around again like we did before. So it all ties in, and then we're going to punch this out with the Everyday label punch. There we go. And there's the punch. We'll just punch that out. Like so. And then I'm going to stick that on the front with the bottle. And what I've worked out is when this is closed up, I can have that poking like that because it will be within the footprint that it's got to be. So I'm going to stick this with Tombow. And it's that one I've got ready. I'm going to stick the bottle up with dimensionals. Don't need that one, it's going to be overlapping. Right. I'll redo that. Didn't actually think about that. So it actually only needs the one. That one at the bottom there, holding it on there. Slightly higher up. It's done. It's done now. So that's the front one. And then on this side, I'm going to put a beer bottle and hooray. And that one needs to actually needs to go below, doesn't it? That's not going to work. Ooh, I thought about it and then I'm sure I had it that it fixed right. Yeah, so if it comes off there. So again, a dimensional on the bottom. Don't know why I'm still holding on to that. It's all just a bit, you'll fiddle with it. You might choose not to have these coming off, in which case you can just stick them on anywhere. But that can go like so, and then that should be fine. So that's fine going that way. And then we'll put a balloon next to it, which I might do dimensionals with as well. Because we're not posting this. And then that just leaves this side here where I was going to do another beer bottle. Which I might just put on straight, save myself some hassle. And then I was going to stick a balloon on there. And I might get some baker's twine to finish them off. And there we have it. So fold it up like so, and then that's it, exploding. An explosive happy 18th. I might put another dimensional behind that one there. So there we are. That's my milestone birthday blog hop contribution. So please go on my blog, find the blog hop if you haven't been on it before, and see what the rest of the talented bunch that I have the privilege of being with on a team have to offer. Okay, Nigezza.co.uk. And if you want to purchase this gorgeous paper or anything else Stampin' Up, and you don't have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, then I'll be delighted to be your demonstrator. I've lost the lid. Look at that. It was as if that one's been drunk in it. Okay, I'll find that. Bye-bye for now.